So was Trap Lord Ross actually wrong yesterday, or did everybody misunderstand what Durk lawyers agreed to? Make sure y'all smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. It's your boy Music 101, the Street Reporter, and I'm back with another video. Let's get into it. Trap Lord Ross came out yesterday and said, Lil Durk lawyers putting everything on OTF Vonnie.
I cannot believe what Lil Durk's defense is. We have just heard his defense make their opening statements, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm absolutely floored. You know what they're trying to do? They're blaming it all on Vonnie. Now, I don't know if people are going to go as far as to say that he telling on Vonnie, but he basically is blaming everything on Vonnie.
This started a chain reaction. Mo Gang responded.
Tweet from Ross. I got to talk to Ross. This is not a story. Durk did not just blame everything on Vonnie.
Seti Nash responded.
The Trap Lord Ross said it's bullshit. That's not what happened at all.
OTF members like Duty Low check Trap Lord Ross.
You know what I'm saying? We got bigger, more important things.
Just make sure you do the correct shit, man.
Trying to be fair, real honest.
No, try to be fair. Be fair.
I'm gonna be fair and honest. I'm gonna be fair.
The narrative that other bloggers was putting out was Durk lawyers was denying what Vonnie lawyers was saying, and basically was stating, if Vonnie admitted to putting everything together and all the evidence pointed towards him, why y'all blaming my client? Vonnie saying Durk paid him to do it. We don't know about none of that. But what Trap Lord Ross said today make his statement a little different.
So look, I want to give you guys another update following on from yesterday. I never said that Lil Durk's a snitch, but what I did say is that he's blaming everything on Vonnie. I'm sticking by that. I know a lot of people are kind of out here basically like doing a little performance, just trying to, you know, come up with the best way that they can ignore the facts and twist the facts to try and defend Durk and, you know, placate the Free Durk crowd. That's not what I'm doing here. I'm just here reporting the facts to you. And look, I don't think that Durk's snitching. I don't think Durk's lawyers are snitching. I don't think it qualifies as snitching. I'm not someone who even cares about snitching. But what I do want to say that was crazy that nobody else is talking about was that when Didi's lawyer had his opportunity to speak in the opening statement, and it was said that basically, you know, anything that the other lawyers say, unless people opt out of it, unless Brian Steele and Drew Findlay opt out of what Didi or Lindsay's lawyer are saying, they all agree with it. So in the opening statement, Didi's lawyer said that Vonnie was a sophisticated criminal that was part of an international car theft ring, and he had ties to the cartel. Now look, I don't think nothing is snitching. At the end of the day, you got to do what you got to do. But they're talking about, hey, Vonnie has got ties to the cartel. Now I ain't heard about no ties to the cartel until that. They're putting stuff on Vonnie that I hadn't heard before. Now I would love to know what the evidence is that Vonnie has ties to the cartel. Is that something that Vonnie said? Is that something that Durk and Didi's lawyers dug up? I didn't hear any protest from, you know, any of Durk's main lawyers that they didn't want to be part of this information being included in the opening statement that Vonnie was tapped in with the cartels. So look, I don't know what all of that means, but they are blaming everything on Vonnie. That is an absolute fact. People are just super in their feelings because they're not hearing what they want to hear, but I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear. All these other guys, take note, all of these other guys that are just telling you what you want to hear, they're just capping. They're listening to what's going on in the courtroom, and they're thinking, damn, like, how can I twist this to tell people what they want to hear? They're trying to get clicks, they're trying to get views, they're basically trying to twist the facts to just feed people the slop they want to hear. I'm not doing that, all right? I've been here being factual with you guys every day. When I told everyone that Durk took a W when they severed the charges, everyone was gassed, they were overjoyed, they were loving me. Suddenly Durk fans love me, all right? And now I'm telling you the truth that he's blaming everything on Vonnie, which is exactly what happened. Now you're all mad, now you're all salty. I'm hearing people saying, oh, you should be banned from the courtroom, all of this nonsense. Well, look, I'm just being honest. You ain't gonna find as honest of a take anywhere else as you will on my page. So stay locked in. I'll be back.
So Trap Lord Ross is saying the defense lawyers for all the co-defendants were allegedly operating under the understanding that arguments made by one defense attorney could be supported by others. We seen this in the YSL trial. Brian Steele say something for Thug. All the other attorneys follow up with the same argument and motions for their client. In fact, it went viral and people started saying Brian Steele was representing all the other YSL co-defendants because they seen the pattern. When Brian Steele say something, all the other co-defendants attorneys stand up and say the same thing. He basically was leading them in what to do and say for their client. But here's why Ross' argument makes sense and what other bloggers may overlook. Trap Lord Ross is saying, if Didi lawyer gave new information to the feds that Vonnie was tied to the cartel, and Durk attorneys didn't separate themselves from the things Didi lawyer claimed Vonnie was involved in, then if they all operating under the same umbrella, that means Durk's attorney is agreeing to the information. This how Trap Lord Ross came to the conclusion Durk attorneys blaming everything on Vonnie. Now, Here's the other side. Seti Nash and Gangit was also in the court, and their interpretation was completely different.
The Trap Lord Ross said is bullshit. That's not what happened at all. Let me help y'all out. If Lil Durk would have snitched on OTF Vonnie and said he was the one who did all that, that would mean Lil Durk had knowledge of it. That's how that works. If me and you are doing something, you get caught, I get caught, you turn on me, and I say I knew nothing about it, the worst thing that I could do is literally say, well, he did this, and this, but I didn't know about it. So logically, that don't even make sense. And 6ix9ine, shut your up. What is you talking about? Ain't nobody crash out because of you, weirdo. But you better go find a stream to do. You better go do a 20v1 or something. Hell is you talking about? I'm not gonna call Trap Lord trash, but what I will say is his interpretation is very, very off. That ain't what happened. So we're gonna break it down a little bit more, but Durk ain't snitch. That ain't, if understand this, snitches still go to jail. Snitches still go to jail, by the way. But that whole Lil Durk is a snitch day, that's not even true. See, what the opening statement said was, if you look at the evidence, you won't see anything tied to Lil Durk. You won't see tied to Lil Durk. That's what was said. So when Vonnie points this out, Lil Durk ain't tied to it. When I'm not even tied to this. If I'm combating what you're saying, in zero way is that snitching. The hell is going on here?
Let's put a finer point on how stupid this is. We haven't seen it yet, but there's a written statement. Durk would have gotten it in discovery. It's signed by Kayvon Grant. That's how this works. I haven't seen it. It hasn't been confirmed, but when you cooperate, when they had a bunch of evidence on this guy, it was clear that they got him. He's cooked. So he gives a statement and he writes, I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this, because that guy paid me to. And the whole internet is like, oh my God, that guy is snitching. Let's throw the internet away, bro. Like, this doesn't work. Let's go back to NBC, Peter Jennings, just tell you nothing. At least it was accurate, or it didn't try to just be completely stupid.
Let me just make this disclaimer. I'm not saying that I agree with Trap Lord Ross saying that Lil Durk attorneys is putting everything on Vonnie. What I'm saying is I understand how he came to that conclusion. Let me break it down. What does putting it on Vonnie actually mean? Trap Lord Ross' understanding and point of view is Durk attorneys agreeing that Vonnie committed the crime and Durk had nothing to do with it. In Trap Lord Ross' mind, that's putting it on Vonnie, especially when Diddy lawyer gave new information to the feds that Vonnie was connected to the cartel. Trap Lord Ross understanding all the lawyers under one umbrella. So what one say, all of them stand by it. Now the point of view of what Seti and other bloggers witness and understand is Durk lawyers saying that the government evidence points towards Vonnie. So why are you using that evidence to implicate Durk just because Vonnie said he paid him to do it? They're not looking at what Trap Lord Ross is looking at, saying that all the lawyers is under one umbrella, and they not attaching what other lawyers and co-defendants is alleging to Durk and his team. They only going by what Durk attorneys is saying. And what Durk attorneys is saying, hey, Vonnie admitted he did it. Y'all got all the evidence pointing at Vonnie. Why is y'all bringing my client into this mess? He have no knowledge of nothing. He didn't do nothing. So to give you my opinion on this whole situation, do I think Lil Durk is snitching or his attorneys is snitching or putting it all on Vonnie? I'm not in the courtroom, man. And the information that we's getting is secondhand information. So I can't say that Durk is snitching or his attorneys putting it all on Vonnie. Do I understand why Trap Lord Ross came to that conclusion? Yes. He feel like, goddammit, all the lawyers is one. If one lawyer is saying Vonnie did it, Vonnie did it, Vonnie did it, all the other lawyers are saying Vonnie did it, Vonnie did it, Vonnie did it. And I understand all the reporters that's saying that Durk and his attorneys is not putting it on Vonnie, because they basically just saying, bruh, all the evidence is saying it was the person in blue. So why is y'all over here looking at the person in red? So to be honest, I'm not saying Durk snitching or his attorneys putting it on Vonnie. It's all about your point of view, the information that you received. Trap Lord Ross received, that all the lawyers is working together. When I'm listening to Seti and the other bloggers, they not adding that information into their response. They not getting that. So they not coming to that conclusion that Trap Lord Ross is coming to. And sometimes information like that can cause different reactions, can cause different answers, can cause different opinions. If I heard more information than you, it may deter my opinion to be different than yours, and vice versa. But y'all get in the comments and let me know what you think about this whole situation, man. And if you enjoying the content, like, comment, subscribe, turn on all post notifications. It's free. Do it for me. Promo alert. Today is The Chill Show. Make sure you go follow him on Instagram and subscribe to the YouTube channel. He just dropped another dope interview with Big Head, the Dome Doctor. He didn't hold back. He revealed he never made $1 from any work he did with Boosie and Trill ENT.
Been a real life some of the biggest hit boosting with. I never got paid for nothing from Trill. Nothing. No advance, no nothing.
He also revealed that Boosie cousins Donkey and Brunson, the only reason people feared Boosie.
Man, Boosie was probably playing basketball or something. You know, Donkey, Bronson, they older than Boosie. His cousin. Yeah, they made the way for the Boosie situation. Not as far as his talent, but as far as his cross the track, and if you play with him and, you know, giving him game and knowledge. Donkey and Bronson.
He gave the real. I'm talking about he spoke on Youngboy, Kevin Gates, and Nussy. I ain't gonna lie. He kept it so real. I think eventually he gonna tell Chill to delete that interview. So make sure y'all go over there, check it out right now, and get in the comments and let him know I sent you. The link will be down below.
Charleston White, Brick Baby, again, loose cannon, and about 18
Five step, I'm the leader, this ain't shit.